Hello everybody out there. It helps if I have all my gear going. Jeez. Hello, hello, hello. How we doing out there, my lovelies? Welcome to the show. My name is Monty Anderson with 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And welcome to the live broadcast. Yes, we are live twice. It's so great we do it twice. Ha ha ha. I don't know how great it is, but when you get up to 3,000 views on a show, that's pretty awesome. I likes it. I likes it a lot. So hopefully you all are doing great out there. This is Thursday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, which will be kind of cool. So we will not we will not be previewing any of the Antarctic press stuff because that does not drop until tomorrow. I will be getting Ben done the last broadcast, so for he can help promote me because that got a lot of views on my YouTube channel. So that was pretty exciting to wake up to see some more views happening out there on the YouTube channel out there. So no, it's all cool. It's all fun and dandy. Whew, what a whirlwind! You know that Murphy's Law I talked about the last show? It's still kind of in full effect right now. I've got a leaking faucet underneath my sink in the kitchen, so I've got to completely gut a portion of the water lines under there. And then we've got an angsty goat, but we've got them pretty much sold off. So we're getting out of the goat business. Well, I do homestead, so I do artwork. I am an actor. I do voiceovers, and I homestead. So I've got animals. I got aminals here on the farm, and uh, and so with that, we've got a goat that's a little angsty right now, just because he is in a rut, if you will, and he's got no other male goats to butt heads with. So he is an angry child right now. We're done dealing with him. I mean, we don't want to bring more goats. The property doesn't isn't big enough for goats because I don't have a huge farm. Uh, I have just over half an acre, and it sustains our chickens and ducks, and then the goats that we do have, and the one pig that we do have. But other than that, it doesn't warrant um, a bunch of goats that he needs because he needs to butt heads with another goat, with another male, and to get some of that testosterone out. And we play with him and stuff like that, but he starts getting way too rough, where he's ramming your legs and all that good stuff. So we have him sold. We have them sold off pretty much to someone on that we know, and so that's going to be cool. They've already got goats, and they are a good fit, I'm pretty sure, with the other goats that they've got. So it'll give them somebody to play with other than try to chasing the female around all day long. So, um, so yeah, we're getting out of the goats. We thought they were a good idea, and we thought we were going to be able to do a lot more. But since she's not a dairy goat, we can't do the cheeses and the lotions and the soaps and things like that. So she doesn't really produce enough milk for all of that. But but Murphy's Law is still in full effect. The pig is angsty right now too. I don't know if she's in rut as well, if she's in heat or not. But she's acting all funky, especially towards me, trying to bite my calf and shins and knee and all that stuff. So she's a little bit more tolerable. You can get away from her. Just lock yourself in another room and she settles down. Whereas the goat, I mean, you can get away from them too, but you know, uh, he is a little bit more angry and full force at you. You don't even know it. I'm gonna strip now. just just this outer layer, folks. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. All right. So, how How are y'all doing out there? We're going to be talking comic books. We're going to be talking artwork. We're going to be talking movies. One of the greatest horror movies out there, right there. I know a lot of people would disagree, but that's okay. I love my Nightmare on Elm Street. Got the posters, got action figures, got all kinds of stuff on Nightmare on Elm Street. One of my favoriteest out there, besides Hellraiser. There's a few others by Clive Barker that I like too, but there's a lot of horror movies that I love, from the classics like House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price to some of the newer stuff that doesn't suck. But there is a lot of new stuff that does suck out there, and it's just like I just don't understand some of this new stuff. It's not scary at all. I mean, a lot of people were freaked out about the Blair Witch Project, the lost footage. No, that sucked. That movie sucked. And unfortunately, I went and saw it at the theaters, and it really sucked because I paid for that shit. Just like Paranormal Activity, a bunch of military guys went to watch it together, and I'm one of the military guys, and we're sitting in the movie theater and watching that movie, and we're laughing. I mean, it's a lot of jump scare and stuff like that, and especially the end whenever she crawls towards the camera and her face changes over to that skull demon looking thing, and this whole row in front of us just about ended up in our laps because of it. We're just dying laughing, and so yeah, that movie kind of sucked too. The Paranormal Activity movies just kind of suck all the way around. It's very way too predictable with it all. So, but there are a lot of good other horror movies out there that aren't based on just jump scares and things like that. Psychological horror movies and things of that nature that keep you on your toes. Um, there's a lot of people that say, "Well, some of the movies you like suck too." So it's just like it is to each their own. Um, like the whole Conjuring stuff based on the Warrens' lives and their recordings and things like that. But yes, I am into the paranormal. I love that stuff because, like I said, I live in a haunted house. I can't get away from it, no matter what I do. Even if I didn't want to uh, be into the paranormal stuff, I would still have it going on around me just because of the house. I mean, it could be me too. I could be the haunted one, you know, which spirits do attach to people. Uh, and ever since seeing a demon as a child, when I was about 10 years old, you know, um, I've seen things ever since then that you can't explain, and it's fun. I mean, I think it's exciting. That's why I keep one of these right here with me at all times, so that in case something does get heard or whatever, I can start the recording process, start asking questions. No, I've caught a lot of EVPs in my office, and so it's always exciting. I can't understand what the fuck they're saying, but I appreciate them talking back. But I don't get any of those clear EVPs. I mean, I've got a couple that are decent, and I don't know where they are right now. I don't even think they're on my recorder. I think they're downloaded on my computer somewhere. I need to put my ghost section on my computer because I've got all kinds of orbs and movements and different poltergeist activities in the house, and so it's been an exciting time living here for the past almost 3 years. November will be 3 years. November the 11th, I believe, uh, and so it's been fun. It's been exciting. Lots of changes have happened to the house, so that always amps up their spirits. You know, all that good stuff, or that's what they say. And I can believe it. You're changing things from where they were, and so I thought I was gonna have to get a new computer. I mean, I'm still gonna get a new computer, but switching subjects right there. The segue. My other computer that's over here, my main computer that I use on a regular basis, um, it experienced some, some spiritual activity. It was about to get blessed really hard with the baseball bat. So I took it apart, threw it in my docking station over here, and took off the information that I would normally use, which is all of my graphics material and my pictures and stuff that from all of my artwork. But I pulled that off of this hard drive over here. Oh, excuse me. And because the computer had stopped working completely, 100%. It wouldn't go into startup mode. It wouldn't even go into safe mode. So I take it apart, put the hard drive over here in my docking station, and took off the information that I wanted to save as I was going to reset this computer over here, and I still might end up resetting the computer. Put it back together, hooked it back up, and was going to reset, and it decides, hey, I'm going to work again. And it's just like, you have got to be freaking kidding me right now. You are a pain in my ass. And so far, so good. Let's see if it pulls it on up. There we go. There we go. Yes, dear. Ah, the girlfriend. The girlfriend. You gotta love her. You gotta love her. There we go. We are back up and running, and it looks like it's a little bit faster now than it was. I am going to take off a bunch of programs on it and shit like that just to not have it bogged down. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I truly do. Um, I don't have that many followers. I've got a little over 3,000. I think it's 3,200 and some odd followers. But for you guys to make me hit 3,000 views is pretty cool. That means pretty much every follower, and I'm betting a lot of you aren't followers of my program, uh, are hitting or at least viewing my program, even if it's for a couple minutes. You want to hear my dribble of movie related or artwork related or whatever. But that's exciting, and it's I'm not anybody famous out there, and I'm not really looking to become famous like a lot of people do. Um, and but I do my thing. I do what I do. Like I said, I'm an actor. I do voiceovers, voice acting, which is just like acting because you're still doing all of the same motions you would if you were acting in a film as if they're seeing you as a person. So you're still giving the same facial expressions whenever you do a line or whatever. And speaking of that, I just put all of that, or just sent all that over to the film crew, to the producer, so he can listen to all the lines there. And hopefully he likes them all. If not, he'll get back in touch with me and be like, "Hey, I need you to redo this. I need you to do this. I need those type things." And so 17 pages worth of lines is a lot, and it is a fan film. It is a Power Rangers fan film, so that's kind of exciting. Power Rangers have been around for a very very long time, and they're continuing to go strong. Um, and Uh, I'm not a big Power Ranger fan, but hey, I'll voice it. I'll voice the voice of a bad guy, Champ, the bad guy, uh, with his boxing ring and all that good stuff. But no, it's fun. It's exciting, and it gets you to do different things. It takes you out of a one spot and moves you into another, if you will. And yeah, acting is cool, but you're still again acting with the voice acting, but it's just a different deal. You can get more intense with it, if you will. And that's what I like about all this different movements in my life. Excuse me. I've got like I said, I've got the artwork going on. My new company right here, 412 Productions, hasn't always been my name. This just started January 1st of 2025. And I'm looking forward to. Yes, I know that one's not available. I know that was not available. I know that was not available. I know that one, that one, that one. Sorry, whenever you hook in new hard drives, things happen over there. But but no, whenever you are doing those type of things, it just moves your life into different directions. Because with voice acting, you can do a ton of different things. You could get into commercials. You could get into um, voiceovers for big movies. Good morning, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. Welcome to the show. Glad you could wake up enough and be here with us today. Nah, Roy Joe's a good dude. What did I miss so far? Talking about getting rid of the goats. The goats have found a new home. The plumbing under my sink, I've got to gut and redo because it's leaking. The pig is being an angsty little asshole with biting and things like that. But I don't know if she's in a rut or heat or whatever, but that's pretty much what you missed so far, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. Another Dallas Cowboy fan. So if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, chime in. I know there's not a lot of you out there, but you know, my team forever and always. My casket or urn will be a Dallas Cowboy something or other, so it's all good. They will be the death of me, as a lot of people say about their teams, especially those that have never won a Super Bowl in their lives. But anyway, um, but yeah, no, it takes you in a whole different direction whenever you are doing voice acting. Like I said, you could end up on a commercial somewhere. You could end up um, voicing a role for a character that you never thought you would voice. And so instead of them seeing your face, you know, they're hearing your voice, and it's all just exciting and it's just fun. And thank you for the likes. Please like, share, and follow. You can also go up here, not here on Facebook or YouTube, but up here on TikTok. You can go follow my other profiles, which goes Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then TikToker, which you're here with me live now. And I do appreciate each and every one of you being here. I am grateful for the people that do follow me. Like I said, the 3,200 plus. I mean, I know it's a little over 3,200, but you know, once I hit that 10,000, then I can start making some money off of this app, this platform, um, which would be awesome. But I don't see myself hitting 10,000 anytime soon. I've it has taken me. I think I've been on this app for a little over a year, and I'm just at 3,200 now. And a lot of that has come here recently with that whole like for like, follow for follow thing that they did. A lot of people started following me on that trend, even though I wasn't really doing that trend per se. Uh, but it helped because I was sitting at about a little over 1,200, 13, maybe close to 2,000 before that, and so I gained over 1,000 followers in no time, and that was just here recently within the last 6 to 8 months, I guess. So you can do it too out there, if you really wanted to. If you've got a live show or, any content that you're wanting to produce out there, make it happen. Live your dream. Follow your dream. And that's what I did after I left Walmart. I mean, I was always living my dream since about 2017 when I started going to comic book conventions and things of that nature. And meeting a lot of different people in the industry, indie press. We don't call them small artists anymore, just because, like on the comic book world, they're indie press associates. Basically, they do their own thing. They have their own company. I mean, I'm looking at in this little box right here. I'm looking at one. I think it's called Craw. I'm not 100% sure on that name, but he is a small press indie producer of comic books, and he does have backers and supporters. So that's how he is able to um, fulfill his orders on a regular basis, because he does have people that believe in his vision. And I'm looking for people like that myself. I'm looking for people that believe in my vision, and I have a comic book coming out eventually. I don't know when it's going to come out yet, but um, it is in the process of being written by me. I am doing it all. I am writing it. First off, I'm the creator of it. I'm writing it. I am the illustrator, the inker, and then I will have somebody else produce it. Now, in my comic book, I am going to have other people come in and do some covers. It is a 4-issue miniseries. So, with that, each cover will have 4 covers to it. So, there's 16 total books. 16 total covers, not books, for this 4-issue miniseries. And why I'm doing that is because I want to showcase some talent that I have recognized via Facebook and Instagram and things like that. And I think it's going to be cool and exciting, because I'm not going to use the same artist on all 4 books. Now, I might have them do a pin-up or something like that as well, but I see a lot of artists that rehash the same artist over and over and over again on several different covers as they go along. And then they only use one artist, um, and never contact them again, even though the people show interest in their show or in their comic book. And at that point in time, it's just like, okay, so you're going to use these other people multiple times, but you're not going to use some other people. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Not a problem. I see how you is as a person, as a business dealing. You go where the money is what it boils down to. And I get that, and I don't fault them for that, but just man up and tell people like it is. I don't want to use your artwork because you have no affiliation with a comic book convention or this, that, or the other, and that's what it boils down to. And I've seen it one too many times. Now, am I going to do the same thing? No. Just because I want to showcase some people's artwork out there that I've noticed and I've taken notice and I've liked myself. I'm in talk with one person right now about either buying one of their pieces of artwork or doing an artwork trade with them on a piece of artwork that I just saw. That was a warm up ink for them basically, and it's just very cool piece. And um, it's just like you want to network with other artists or other people in your like minded. Say you're into um, Wicca or witchcraft type stuff. Find your like people. Say you're into woodworking or metalcraft. Find your like people. And if these are some of the aspects and aspirations that you're striving for, make it happen. I didn't think I'd be doing artwork full time. 100%. Didn't think I'd be doing it. Didn't think I'd be doing any acting. I'm 53 years old. And I had my first acting gig, what, 4 years ago? Is that right? Somewhere in there. Whenever Masquerade was being produced. Um, I got an acting gig from the producer on it as a speaking role of EMT. And and then I did another EMT role in another full feature film because the first one was just a short film, if you will. It was a little over 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. So it was almost a feature length film, but wasn't a feature length film. And then the second one, which was Enthralled, which I was an EMT for as well. Um, I didn't have a speaking role in that one, but you still got to see all of me, not like the full Monty. Haha. And then from there, here I am doing voice acting, you know, as of 2025 at 53 years old. And so, and I know there's a lot of actors that got their start in acting late in life, you know, and things like that. But I never thought it would happen for me just because, you know, I never saw myself as an actor, a thespian out there, if you will. And so, you know, it's just something that never really crossed my mind until I started seeing it more and more, especially from the local producer, Jason Pitts, um, who you can look up, Jason Pitts alone on YouTube, Masquerade. Um, Sorry, Jason, I can't remember what the third film is in that trilogy. I almost had it. I can't think of it right now. But he's gone on to do a lot of things. He's got a lot of laurels, if you will, a lot of awards for his shows, um, for you know, because he enters into a lot of different organizations that showcase talents of his nature. So, um, but yeah, I never thought a lot of things would happen for me as I'm moving through life. But it can happen for you too. That's the thing. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your hopes that you are striving for. No matter what that hope or dream is. I mean, if you want to work for a company the rest of your life and that's your happy place, more power to you. You know, I could not do it just because of the politics of the company um, weren't lining up uh, in a good way, and so it just always rubbed me the wrong way. And it was a company I never thought I would work for nearly 10 years either. Um, but in the beginning, it was very cool and very productive and very lucrative to be at this company, and Walmart was the company because I was in asset protection, um, that secret shopper that follows people around and calls the police on them. Yes, that was me. And I used to go to the Facebook meetings or Facebook, the Walmart meetings on a regular basis. But then they started screwing with me, saying my productivity had dropped, saying this, that, and the other, and which wasn't true because I was still putting in case after case after case in our system, and I was doing what they wanted us to do, but they were blackballing me 100%. Um, and it took one last straw, and that was when my mother had brain surgery, and I went out and to be with her for a month, and from there told them I was coming back, and I had done a group message, you know, with my store manager, my direct supervisor, my coach, as they call them now, and my other direct supervisor, which is the team lead. And the only person that contacted me back at any point in time was the store manager. My direct supervisor, coach, and team lead never said a word. I told them I was ready to come back, told them my mom was doing fine, all that good stuff, and I look forward to coming back on the 24th of October. Would be my return date, and I look forward to having myself back on the schedule, yada, yada, yada. Well, again, the store manager was the only one that hit me back in that conversation. And that got the wheels a turning. Well, for the past 2 years, they've put me on the blackball list for whatever reason. And so I'd already had a letter of resignation. Well, a 2 weeks notice letter. Let's go there. Written up for after we got our bonus, which would have been in uh, March. Well, it would have been in February, but I would have lasted until March to be there for 10 years. March 31st would have been 10 years for me. And so after that conversation where the store manager was the only one that contacted me back, I was like, huh, there's something going on and wrong here. if my direct supervisor cannot contact me back and the store manager is the only one having conversation in this entire thread of text messages, something's wrong here. And so I quickly changed my 2 weeks notice letter into a letter of resignation and was like, I put my niceties in there. I wasn't an ass like I could have been. And walked in on the day I was supposed to return. My boss wasn't there. I don't think my team lead was there either. Dropped my stuff off in the office, keys, discount card, badge, all that good stuff, walkie talkie. Put it on the desk with the letter, walked out of the office. Didn't even care, didn't look back. Started saying some goodbyes to some people that, you'll miss because you've worked with them for nearly 10 years. And the store manager happens to see me. He beelines over to me, starts talking to me, welcome back, all that good stuff. And like, how's your mother? And told her she's doing fine. And then I was like, oh, and by the way, my letter of resignation is on the desk in there in the AP office. He's like, wait, what? He was blindsided. And I told him, whenever you're the only one that communicated back in any of those text messages that I sent out, which was much appreciated, I said, there's something wrong. And he was like, you're right, there is something wrong there, and I'll have to apologize for that. And I said, no, you're not the one that has to apologize. And have I ever gotten an apology from those other two? Not a bit. And do I care? Not a bit. Because they think they are higher and better than everybody else. And if you aren't kissing their ass in the workplace, then you mean nothing to them. And I wasn't an ass kisser, you know, and I never will be, just because that's not who I am. Military taught me that you don't kiss ass just to get what you want or where you're going. Now some people do, and it helps them out, but that's not me. And so I left them behind in the dust, and they replaced me semi quick. And the person that replaced me, I knew her as well, and because I'd worked with her, excuse me, and gotten to know her prior to her getting this job, and she hates it too because they were treating her the same way. Um, it's different now because that coach is no longer there, but the team lead still is. and so, it this helped me follow my dreams even more because as soon as I walked out that door, I was able to do a lot more things. I was able to go to more comic book conventions without being like, "Hey, I'm putting in time for this. Can you please approve it so that I can make sure I go to this show?" And now, if I want to go to a show, I fill out my paperwork online and pay my booth fee, and boom, I'm at the show. Um, Now the only problem with that is that the girlfriend has to take the time off because she still works for Walmart, and so it puts a crimp in her paycheck just because she can put in PTO for it, or which is protected time off, or uh, just your standard time off request, and get money for that, but not as much money as she would have been making. Well, I guess it's still the same amount of money that you're making when she's there, but most of the time I don't make enough to pay her for being at the show, which is where I want to be. Anybody that's helping me at the show, I want to be able to pay them, you know, okay, you worked for me for 3 hours, so here's your cut, those type things. And it's just not there yet. Um, Now, while I'm saying, will I ever be there? I'm sure I will, because with this whole new mindset of revamping everything, business logo, everything, um, that means new prints, new opportunities. Canvas prints, new opportunities. Um, the artwork that you see on Facebook and YouTube up there, which you don't get to see on TikTok, but the new stuff that I'm rolling out right here. The actual saw blades with characters on them. I've got 2 characters made up right now. This says, "I want to play a game." And it's got Billy the Puppet from Saw, which everybody has seen these if they, pay attention, all that good stuff. So I've got this one, and then I've got the Saw art, the Art of Art, which is Art the Clown. I'm seeing that check. Where's my other check? There it is. I got a check in from the VA the other day. I got to cash it. Right here. Dun dun dun. But again, actual saw blades. These aren't some. These are real saw blades that I do artwork on. And so these are cool. I've already sold a couple of these, and I'm hoping to sell the rest of them. But if I don't, these are great table displays at the conventions for 2026. I will not be going to any comic book conventions in 2025. I've already told the world this multiple times via live shows. And, a lot of people thought I was going to give up art, which will never happen. I will be doing artwork until I die, I think, just because it's enjoyable and it brings a smile to people's faces out there. And that's what I want, is to be able to bring a smile to somebody's face out there through artwork. Like I've talked about many times on my live shows, is talking to the kids that the parents bring to your booth, and you give them the time of day. You don't just be like, "Oh, your kid draws. That's awesome. So happy for you." And they're like, "Okay, kids, let's go." No, I'll sit there and interact with the whole family. Just because, number one, you don't want to make it weird, like sniffing the children type of situation, and you you make it personable to the kid, because you show them some new techniques that they might not have seen before, or you ask them questions, and which people don't normally do to children. Um, and you're like, "How do you draw something? What do you do whenever you're drawing something?" Now, some kids are like, "Well, I draw, the outline, the circle first, or whatever." And it's just like, that's a great start, because that's where you should be starting, is that way right there. And um, because everything is boiled down to a shape when it comes to art, no matter what it is, everything boils down to a shape. Um, the head is a circle. If you look at it, it's a circle. And then you put this little extra piece down here, you know? And it once you start breaking everything down, art becomes easier, per se. Do I have my struggles? Of course I do. Do I like drawing hands? No, I don't. Do I like drawing feet? No, I don't. But I do it because it has to be done. And another rule is, with the hands and feet, keep it simple. Don't try to, especially in a small, tight space, don't try to over exaggerate everything. Keep it simple. You've got a box, a rectangle right here. That's all that is. If someone's pointing, that's a rectangle. You just got to get your foreshadowing and all that stuff down on it. Everything is a shape. Everything has a shape. So if you're trying to be an artist, or if you are an artist, keep it simple. Draw your shapes, flesh it in, and go from there. And that's my mindset whenever I get into my comic book, because I'm putting a lot of panels in some of the pages. So there's upwards of 8 to 10 panels per page. And so that's a lot of artwork on one page. And again, I'm the one doing it all: writing, illustration, inking. No AI shit here. No AI writer for me. This is all me writing it out of my head onto a Word document. And I know that's probably not the best way to do it, putting it in a Word document, but that's what I've got. I don't I don't have any other apps for it, and I don't want an app that writes it for me. Um, just because then it's not mine. Then it just became that program's basically. Yeah, it would still be mine because I'm the one that said, "Hey, this is the premise. This is what I want it to do. Write the story for me." Boom. Then it writes your story for you, and that's just not me. I do things the hard way, I guess. Do it the hard way. Yeah. So, but no, I do. I appreciate each and everybody stopping in, checking out the channels. Especially those of you that have stuck around for a while now. We've been on for 41 minutes. That's amazing. Time flies whenever you are talking about the stuff that you love and are passionate about. And if I've missed any comments, I apologize because I'm not always looking at the screen. And if you think I'm ignoring you, I'm not. Especially down here on TikTok. Facebook, I can't see any of your responses if there are any on my live show at this present juncture. Um, I know I'm live. I just don't know if there's any questions being popped up out there. Now I do get some people that are like, "Hey, hi," and all that stuff. But you know, if you want to talk, please do so. Um, if there's any questions you want to ask, please ask. I have no problems with that. That's what makes a live show even better is having a repertoire or a banter back and forth um, between the guests that are here and myself. I don't have every answer, but by the time next show rolls around, if there's something that you have a question about, I will have an answer for you. Uh, if you're back around on my show, which is every other day, which is all the odd days right now. Now, I'm not saying that I will always be on the odd days because it's 313 today, and the next show will be Saturday, the 15th, which I will be talking Antarctic Press again. On that end, I've got to get the link to Mr. Ben Dunn on this side, from my side to him. Yo, what up, Sharon? How's it going? And I appreciate the likes. Thank you very much. And I'm just excited with life, whereas before I wasn't. Life wasn't always exciting. Yes, going to comic book conventions and things like that was always fun, but there was just aspects to my life that made it a drag. Having a job. Having a job is a drag sometimes. My girlfriend hates hers. She's ready to get out of there and do some other things. Um, and I don't blame her. They work her like a dog, and it's not right. She works harder than most of the men that she works with, and you know, and then she comes home and tries to do stuff around here, and I'm just like, look, babe, just go lay down, enjoy your TikToks, whatever you're doing, just go lay down and relax. And sometimes she'll take that advice, but there's a lot of times where she's like, no, you're outside doing stuff. I need to be outside doing stuff with you. I'm like, no, you really don't. You can go inside, you can relax, you can kick your feet up, you know, whatever you want to do, just go do it. You don't have to be out here with me on a regular basis just because I'm out here. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, like I said. But like I said, the aspects of life that I had was the job, the biggest problem, because I always had to ask permission to do something. It's kind of like in a relationship when you're married, you know, you ask permission, and sometimes you don't even ask permission. You just do it, and hopefully you don't get destroyed by your partner for it later for a decision you made that should have been talked about between the two of you. And um, so that was the biggest drawback was that I had to ask permission, hey, I've got this show coming up. I'm putting in this time for it. Can you please approve it? And sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. And then if it's a no, it's like, well, good luck seeing me here anyway, because I've already paid for my booth. I'm not. They're not going to refund my money, you know, which most shows don't. Now some shows do, but a lot of them won't do they have a no refund policy, um, which is kind of silly in my opinion. But because they're making bank, especially with the price of admission for some shows, which is kind of ridiculous. And I mean, some shows a family gets in for $100, and it's just like now they've got no money to spend on anything else except for what they came there for, like a voice actor or an actor or whatever. And so it puts a damper on convention goers whenever the convention themselves decide they're going to charge, like $30 a ticket. Hold on. I thought I was going to sneeze and it still feels like I'm going to, but breathe in the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. If you know the song, you know the song. But whenever they're charging like 30 and $40 a ticket just to get in for a 1 day show, instead of, you know, taking that ticket price way down for 1 day, and because I mean even the weekend pass can be upwards of $120, you know, which in my opinion is kind of ridiculous, because how are you expecting, people to continue unless you're a wealthy person that makes, like $90,000 or $120,000 a year to walk around a convention? Getting a drink of water, folks, and buy stuff from everybody. Well, they don't care about that. They care about their end. They care about what it is that they're getting. And that's the downfall of a lot of people, is that they're in it for themselves. And it's just like, just be a kind person, you know? Be Look at where you came from to where you are now, and who got you where you are. It's the people out there that are getting me where I am today. And without you guys out there stopping in, checking out the channel, um, buying my artwork, I would not be doing art. And that's a sad state, because that is my passion. That is my love. Just like homesteading. Yeah, it's going to be sad whenever the goats go, because we've had them for about a year now. Not the new kids, of course, but it just boils down to there's only so much you can take when it comes to animals. My yard isn't equipped for, a bunch of animals. Now, chickens and ducks and things like that, it can handle. But when it comes to a bunch more goats, which I really need because I need a herd, my yard isn't built for that. And it's the passion is still there. It's just it's going to have to switch gears. And the artwork is a huge passion all the way around, because there's artwork in gardening, there's artwork in taking care of chickens and goats and ducks. There's an artwork in artwork. The stuff that you see that I've got right here behind me, and you guys get to see it over here on Facebook and YouTube. But have a passion for what you're going after, is what it boils down to. Because if you don't have that passion, why are you doing it? If you're just going to an office setting and working for the man just because you like this person or this group of people, but you don't like the job, why are you at that job? Because it pays you a good salary? Well, what if your passion could pay you a good salary? You know? And I see it time and time again. I mean, there's people at Walmart that aren't in management positions who have master's degrees. You're telling me that your master's degree got you to Walmart to be a cashier? Then you're telling me your passion isn't as great as a $11 paycheck as a cashier, minimum wage. Can you live on $11? That's minimum wage here in Arkansas, $11 and some odd cents. And if you're full time cashier at $11 and some odd cents, you got to think insurance is coming out of that. The stupid taxes that should not even be around are coming out of that. Now, can you live on $11 and some odd cents minimum wage here in Arkansas? See, that's awesome. He's got a master's degree and he's a carpenter and he enjoys his job. And that is where your passion lies. And that is awesome because carpentry is fun. I love doing carpentry around here. I'm not great at it by any means. I mean, I've got the equipment. I've got lathes. I've got um, chop saws. I've got miter saws. I've got all that stuff. I don't have the joining compounds and things like that, or that make the joiners and all that good stuff. But one of these days, maybe I will. I've got to get my main shed built for that woodworking shop, built for just that. But that's pretty awesome. And see, that's a passion from Dave right there. Um, and what's your master's degree in, by the way, Dave? Because like my oldest daughter, she is has a master's degree in library science, and she's also a teacher at a school. So she can actually go to any library in the world and be a librarian at that. So that's her passion. She loves books. She loves to write. I wish she would get her books published out there, to be honest. She's got a lot of stories out there, and she keeps rewriting them because she kills a character off or whatever. But those type of things. But Dave, if you are listening, what is your master's degree in? People want to know. I mean, I want to know. But yeah, carpentry is a fun thing to do. I do a little bit of carpentry here at the house, not as much as I really would want to, but um, but yeah, but if your master's degree isn't in your field of whatever you mastered in, then why did you spend all that money? Number one, and then why aren't you doing that field? Is it because it's overcrowded in that field? Is it a field that you can't, get into for whatever reason? But it's just things like that. If you aren't following your passion, your true love, then what are you doing with your life? Artwork has always been a passion for me, even when I had the people telling me that it wasn't worth my time, that it wasn't going to pay the bills. It wasn't going to um, amount to anything. From my stepdad telling me to find a real job because artwork wasn't going to cut it, to my second ex-wife, who literally I laid down my pen and paintbrush and everything else for nearly 5 years and never touched artwork for close to 5 years of that marriage because she said it wasn't good enough to pay the bills. It wasn't good enough to this, to do that. Even though she had her art degree, her business degree in um, what was it called? See, I can't even think. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. She had a business degree in some kind of art, uh, because she was a dancer as far as classic dancing, not pole dancing. I know that's a dance form in and of itself, but she was a ballerina and a tap dancer and jazz and all that stuff. But she always hung it over my head. Hey, I've got a degree and you don't. You know, you're right. I don't have a degree, but I still have a passion for what I'm doing, for what I love to do. And you made me put that passion away for 5 years. And that didn't help me at all. I was miserable for the first 5 years of that marriage. And for someone else to tell you to stop doing something you love or to stop liking something that you love to do, or unless it's detrimental to your health, or is going to kill you, um, then why stop? Why why belittle someone into believing that their passion isn't good enough? And that's a painful thing. That's a painful subject for a lot of people because there's a lot of people out here watching right now that have put their passion on hold for somebody else. And unless that other person in the relationship believes in your passion as much as you do, then it's probably not going to work out. Just like it didn't in my marriage. Second, number two. And there was a lot of other issues that happened in that marriage as well, but that was one of the big key factors. She didn't like a lot of my hobbies, comic book collecting, um, the movie aspects of the stuff that I like, which is basically horror movies. And so, but I was always, complimentary of her passion, which was always in the dance field. She even had a dance studio in Van Buren for a while. And, it folded because she kept raising the prices on a regular basis. It was like every year she had the studio, the prices would go up and the students would get less and less. And then she ends up blaming it on me that it was my fault that the studio folded. It was like, well, number one, you shouldn't have paid as much as you did for a rental building, which wasn't. I mean, had you bought the building for that price, it would have been better. But you paid for a rental building, a studio name. Thank you, TikTok, for the oh, come on, for the puzzle piece that you have to slide just right. Um, you bought a studio name, you bought a studio client list, and you bought barely supplies that were inside of that studio, and you paid way too much for it all because you still had to pay rent on the building because it was owned by someone else. You still had to find new clientele because some of the clientele went ahead and left as soon as the sale happened. Some stuck around for a while. Then you start raising prices, excuse me, and then other people start leaving the studio. But yet I was the problem because I was at the front desk interacting with people all day long, playing security as well in case someone off the street came in and tried to do some shit inside the dance studio. Um, and it's just like, now I'm the bad guy. I'm the reason your studio folded. No, there's other factors. People just don't like you. and then you're raising prices on them on a regular basis. And then, the shirts and decals and things like that were astronomically priced as well. But it was just a lot of things. But I supported her passions. I made her logos. And I did not get paid for this. Um, yes, I got paid as an employee of the studio because I was the IT guy, I was the camera guy, I was the this, I was the that, you know, and it was just like if I was getting paid for all those jobs, I'd be getting like $90 an hour, you know, but that's not how I got paid. I got paid as a regular associate. And even though I was part owner of the studio, because I had to sign the paperwork with her as well, and it just didn't work out. But again, I supported her passion behind it all, um, and which was a role switch because she never supported my passions at all until she saw that money was rolling in from it on a regular basis, and especially going to comic book conventions. I mean, we could make upwards of $2,300 in a weekend. A lot better than working at Walmart, than the paycheck at Walmart. And once I did leave Walmart and then started going to shows on a regular basis, I followed my passion. I followed my complete dream. Yes, 2017 to 2024, December 31st of 2024, whenever, 2014 is when my business took off, my original business. And from there until I killed the business in December 31st of 2024, it did okay. But as soon as I killed the old business, put 412 Productions, 412 is not a verse from the Bible, so don't get freaked out. That is the time, which you can see. Which way am I going here? That way. That way, right there. There's a time clock up here. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Please like, share, and follow. You can also go up here and follow me on all my other broadcast channels as well. By hitting the website up there, you'll see the 412 Productions, the Art of Monty Anderson logo. And then directly under that will be my socials that you can go check out on there as well. And once I opened up 412 Productions on January 1 of 2025, things changed. It was like a complete different mindset, not just for me, but for other people. Because January was my best selling month out of any month, out of any year, um, of having my other business in place. This January was my best year ever. Yeah, Roy Joe there, Roy Joe Bradley Jr. there, he has renamed my little logo behind me, which I'll slide out of the way so you can see it. He has named that Monty Jr. right there. And it's fitting because, I believe. I'm a believer in the aliens. I'm a believer in a lot of things, and so a lot of people, you're like, you believe in that? You're crazy. It's just like the people, um, that are diving into the mermaid lore, and apparently people, a lot more sightings are being seen of mermaids right now. And then the little gnomes on that one show, or not show, her TikTok, where they her husband and her son saw this creature about 2 feet tall, and one guy was talking about called it a jinn. No, no, it's all good, Joe, Roy Joe Bradley Jr. No, it's all good, Roy. Um, you can joke. That's what this show's about. It's about having fun. It's not about seriousness all the time. let's talk about stuff that's going to drag us down into the deep, miry mud and make the show really, really slow. No, that's not what the show's about. This show is about having fun, having laughs. Just like I talked about at the beginning of the show too, which you missed, was about the horror movies, Paranormal Activity, and um, what other show did I talk about? Actually, I can't even remember what other movie I talked about. But a lot of people are getting scared at those. I'm sitting here laughing at them, especially people getting scared at the movie because, oh, Blair Witch Project, the stupidest movie ever made. I know a lot of people loved that movie. Turned it into a number one box office hit. I hated it. I was laughing through the whole thing, and I saw it in theaters too. Uh, and it was just like that was a waste of money. And so, but it's all fun and games. Life is here to have fun with. Follow your passions, your dreams. Don't let anybody else talk you out of your passions and your dreams. Please. Because that is what you want to do. That is where your heart lies. That is where your mindset is. And if that is what makes you happy out there, then go for it. Don't work for the man the rest of your life. Because how much life do we have left to live? Twilight sucks. Um, thanks, Roy, for bringing up that painful subject. Vampires do not sparkle in the damn sun. They burst into flames and explode. All right. Um, Twilight, gross. Um, I can't even stand the books. I mean, my kids tried to get me to go to Twilight. I mean, I went and sat in on it with them, but I I was laughing on that movie the whole fucking time I was there. Um, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And they were like, stop it, we're trying to watch the movie. And it's just like, no, this is stupid. Um, especially why why don't you show yourself in daylight? Lord have mercy. No, no, I couldn't do it. It's just like a lot of the shows out there that people love, like the Vampire Diaries or stuff like that. It's just like, eh. Twilight was horrible. Can't stand Twilight. The acting was subpar at best, and it was comical at most. If you can't tell, I'm not a huge Twilight fan. And so, yeah, no, I just couldn't do it. And the kids really tried. I mean, we went to the first movie and watched the first movie in theaters, and I was laughing the whole time and was like, "What is going on here? Why?" All this stuff, and the kids were like, "Shh, shh, shh, we're watching the movie." It's just like, oh Lord, oh Lord, help me right now. It was the worst, whatever hour of my life, however many hours it was. It felt like an eternity. It felt like I became a vampire, and I was 200 years old at that point because it was just like it kept dragging out and dragging and dragging and dragging. Is this movie ever going to end, kids? Really? Is it going to end? Seriously? Because we took some other kids with us as well. Uh, the first ex-wife and I, and our kids, and probably about 4 or 5 other kids. Their parents paid for their own tickets and all that stuff, and we all took them to the movies. And oh no, there is no fooling. Twilight sucks. Okay, so Roy, you can stop that banter. Twilight doesn't even need to be a top anything movie ever. Um, and then they got a new book coming out, and supposedly a new movie coming off of that book, and it's just like, just stop. Just stop. No, Blair Witch sucked too. I laughed the whole time. There was no jump scares where everybody else was getting scared at and all that crap, and it was just like, I'm so scared right now. No, I was laughing. And it's just like, be creative with what you're doing out there too. If you've got a passion, be creative with it. Uh, just like I am trying to be with my saw blades and things of that nature. So, but I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate everybody that's here. I appreciate everybody that stopped in and checked out the show. Um, we will leave you with the the words of, if you need somebody to talk to, if you're feeling depressed, anxiety, all that stuff, you can talk to me. You can hit me up in my DMs. Um, but also, 988. I'm going to leave it at that so I don't get a restriction here at the end of the show. If you need to talk to somebody, hit that number up, 988, and they'll be willing to talk to you. Just like I will. If you're feeling down or whatever, hit me up in my DMs. We'll talk. I have no problems with that. But I'm going to leave you guys today. I've got some animals that are getting angsty at my door right now. I hear them knocking. So we are going to check out of here for today. See you, Roy. And as I like to say, as I leave you guys, as I take off, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.